Welcome to the Life Around 40 podcast, where three old people sit around and talk about random things for an hour or so. We're pretty far in. I think this is our 6th episode. So if you don't know the hosts, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're watching. But just as a reminder, I'm here tonight with Taylor, Drew, and myself, the charismatic Graham.
Sure, it's charismatic. You sound kind of grouchy.
No, not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form am I grumpy. So how
I could be grumpy with a face like that.
past week?
Oh, did we do anything this past week? It was good. I caught up on sleep, thank God. Really, thank God. I picked up another camera from a guy, nice guy. Super excited to play with it. And then I even found one of my 4 friends, longtime friends, our host Graham. I found him a computer today. So
Yes,
I'll be giving that to him in November.
Yes, it's going to be a very nice upgrade from what I have to, especially now that we're doing all of this stuff and it's pretty much killing my computer. So it's
just getting
I didn't know,
punched in the balls every time you're trying to do anything. It's like
I didn't realize you couldn't do podcast on DOS, but apparently it doesn't work too well. So it'll be a nice upgrade for sure. So I appreciate that, Drew, hooking me up there. Half of my house is Drew's Goodwill finds, not just my golf bag. So
this was a pawn shop. The Easy Pawn on the Beltway, North Side. Lovely place, good people, good deals.
Just giving away secrets.
Shot it. Yeah, seriously, don't give away your troves.
I mean,
man.
Easy Pawn on the South Side of 99.
Taylor, anything good?
I worked Saturday, so that wasn't the greatest. No, it wasn't. But I worked Saturday, and it instilled some patience in me because I wanted to not be very patient, and I was just okay. And then Sunday, I hung out with a friend, and we had a good time, and now I'm here.
There you go.
Even better. Even better.
Better. That's that every day above dirt's a good day, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Usually. Yes. Same here. It's been more of the same, working. Kids are in cheer. I start school here very soon, so they're nervous / excited for that. I'm excited. Not just because they're getting out of here, but I'm excited for them to start middle school and kind of experience that. It's a pretty big deal for them.
So your wife used to work at their school, right?
She still does. Well,
so is it the same school now?
So she worked at the elementary school she works with a student that's pretty much in the same grade as my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And with that student moving into middle school and my kids moving into middle school, she transferred as well. So This has been her first time in middle school. So far it's gone really well. I think she's really enjoyed working with the new people. She misses her old coworkers, but obviously, so far it's been going very well.
Very cool.
The thing I'm most upset about is school buses are going to be back on the roads. I have no patience there at all. It's terrible. I try to be patient. School buses drive me nuts.
Yeah,
I remember one day,
dreadful.
One day I was driving up 36, 37, and I got stuck behind one for probably 20 minutes who stopped every 3 minutes on the longest stretch of road ever. And I was trying to get somewhere on time, and I was like, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind.
Yep.
So, but other than that, they finished Stranger Things, finished that with them. That was a lot of fun. It's put me in kind of a horror mood. So I've been checking out some horror movies here.
The genre or the ladies?
Horror. Horror.
Lock in, Drew. Lock in.
Just checking.
So I'm doing a little pre-Halloween horror movie. I haven't really watched any yet. Been doing some research on what I want to see, and kind of getting back. Doing this podcast has actually got me back into listening to podcasts a lot more. I used to listen all the time because I drove so much, but I don't drive as much now for work. So I kind of fell out of the habit, but discovered some new video game podcasts and some horror movie podcasts I'm going to pick up, started listening to. So
Oh,
it's
there
been
you go.
enjoyable. So I forgot how much fun it can be just listening to somebody talk instead of music or whatever, you know.
Now,
And
did you ever try We're Alive?
I remember you tell me about it, and I think I have it saved still, but I don't think I actually listened to it. I have to be in the right frame of mind for like the quote unquote radio drama kind of deal.
Okay.
I'm better. It's easier for me just to drop into like an episode of, you know, talking about movies or whatever. There's not a storyline you have to really involve yourself in. I have a very short attention span, so that's why. Um,
Okay.
imagine that. Imagine that. So, um, anything anybody wants else before we get into the topic of the week?
I will comment on that about falling out of podcasts because I did that myself because I would drive a lot and then there was a stretch where I wasn't driving at all really for work because I lived so close. So I totally understand sometimes it is of circumstance to be like, okay, yeah, great, cool. I'm like, I don't feel like listening to that. I don't want to do that right now. So
Well, and I
totally.
don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but I've noticed since I've had kids, driving an hour in complete silence is perfectly okay. Just absolutely nothing playing at all, and you're just kind of in your own head driving. That works for me just as much as a podcast or music some days. So,
Mm.
but all right then, Taylor. I think it's your topic.
Holy,
So,
exciting. So
Ooh.
yeah, I was talking to Drew a little bit beforehand. Went with a topic to be like, let's not be so in the noggin. I tend to do that
cerebral.
too. I don't know about cerebral, but
Yeah, I don't know.
too many of
Anybody's
the
ever used
worms in
that
my
word for
brain.
me?
Well, I was gonna say too many worms in my brain talking to
It's
each
a
other,
dark and twisted place.
That is, yeah.
and so I wanted to keep it easy and be like, hey, talking about whether or not you're a morning lark or a night owl, or maybe you're a mixture of both. Um, so for myself, I will oscillate between the two, and when I am being diligent and working and dutiful and that sort of thing, I'm certainly much more of a morning person. Like I'll get up at 5:30 in the morning, sometimes even earlier, like 4:30, and just be like, okay, getting stuff ready. Part of it is also because I'm a big proponent of, hey, if you go through the day and you're already at like a 7 at agitation or anger or something, it's really easy to hit 10. So like I try to use that morning to really kind of center myself and be like, okay, let's keep it nice and easy. Let's keep it okay, and I'll do that. But when I get into wanting to write and not wanting to, but when I'm doing writing and getting into that, I certainly will flip a switch and turn into a night owl, and will just burn that midnight oil. But like do that, and then there's times where I'll do both, and I don't know if that's just a manic episode I'm having or something, where it's just like I'll be up until like 3 in the morning and then get up at 5:30 or something, and I'll be good. I'm like, okay, all right, 10-hour day. Like, and I can do that for like a week straight and then be like, okay, all right, I'm back to being myself. So
Huh.
might
That's
explain some
Sure.
things.
that was a lot to, yeah. There's a lot to consider, considering how long we've known you. Um,
So,
Drew.
yeah, Drew.
So yeah, so I'm pretty much I when I wake up, I have a mindset. I'm awake, and I mean, I might lay in bed for 10 minutes and like watch a short little YouTube video just to break myself out of my dream state. But my dog is gonna go nuts. I think my wife's home, and you know, basically, as long as I have an activity, I'm pretty much just awake. It's when you say, "Hey, the day is over," it goes bad, and it goes bad quick because, once I'm in, I'm going to bed state. It's a YouTube video, a boring YouTube video. Like, huge fan, Adrian's Digital Basement. Shout out to you,
I
Adrian.
remember you
He
telling me about this.
he
Yeah.
repairs these '80s computers, and he's a great guy, and those videos just put me right out, man. Great guy. It might take me 3 nights to get through one of them, and I have no problem doing it.
I am 100% through and through, no question about it, a night owl. I'm up till usually 1:30, 2 o'clock almost every night. I hate getting up. I've always hated getting up my whole life. And I'm one of those guys, even if I have to be up at a certain time, I get up. And if I do not get a shower, like pretty much right away, I will never fully wake up for the day. Um, and I'm one of those guys, and after the transplant, it was really, really rough. I had a hard time falling asleep after the transplant. And, what do we even say to this?
he's big timing you. He's
Oh,
got
yeah,
a new offer.
absolutely.
He's
You
leaving.
can't hear me.
He so yeah, I'm up late almost every night. In fact, it gets to the point where I have
You're
such a
good.
hard time falling asleep, I will do crosswords on my phone. And I usually can get about 2 or 3 crosswords done, and then I'll start to kind of feel like I'm getting ready to fall asleep. This is going swimmingly so far.
Mike's back on. Go ahead, Graham. Your
yeah,
heart.
no, it's fine. Yeah, just and I've heard that.
Shocking moment when Graham has to learn he is not number one in Drew's heart.
Seriously, this is. I think this podcast is over. Honestly, we're just gonna shut her down here. Now, I've heard all the things that, like, early bird gets the worm, and I've tried to do that. And I've also read that their circadian rhythms are just different. Not everybody's the same. I mean, I remember being a kid, and I've never ever wanted to get up in the morning. I have a joke that people always say good morning. There's no such thing as a good morning. So the most you'll get from me is morning. I will acknowledge the time of day, but it is not good at all. So, and it's probably to my detriment, but that's just who I am. That's for as long as I've known that's who I am. I hate getting up in the morning.
So,
And luckily my wife is pretty similar to me, and our schedules match pretty well. So for that.
So my mother had to wake me up for school every day growing up, right? Every day. It was like, I'm dead to the world. I'm dead to her. Like, I don't want to wake up and go to school. So I'd be asleep. 5 a.m. My dad walk in the room Sunday morning. Hey, boy, it's time to go play golf. All right, Dad, let's go. Let's get ready. Shirts on, shorts on, out the door. And my mom would get so pissed off. And I will always, my dad had, I think he had a doctor's appointment, a surgery, something minor scheduled. So he was home from work like one day. Through 12 years of school, he's home one day. Walks in the bedroom. Could have been a Wednesday, could have been a Thursday. Hey, boy, time to go play golf. Dude, I jump out of bed. I'm getting dressed. And I'm like, wait a minute. Mary, I got him up.
Gotcha.
It's like, son of a bitch. Got me.
That's hilarious.
He was good.
Oh,
he was
that's
good.
good.
What can I say?
Now, I will say, if I have to be up for something, I can't. So, like, we were up on vacation a couple weeks ago, and we didn't check the schedule well enough, and we booked through Friday night into Saturday, and we were planning on staying up by Lake Erie most of the day Saturday. But then we realized, oh crap, our daughters have cheer camp starting at 8 o'clock on Saturday. So we gave them the option. We were like, do you guys want to come home Friday night, or do you want to stay the night and we'll get up early and drive home early? And they were like, no, we want to stay the night again because they wanted to swim again. And we were like, okay. So we ended up getting up at like 5 because it's about a 2-hour drive or so. And like for that, I was able to get up just fine. But kind of speaking to what you were talking about earlier, Taylor, if I know I have to be up and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, I will try to stay up till like 3 or later, because I know if I only get an hour or two of sleep when I wake up, I'm going to be more awake and ready. Whereas if I'm like, oh crap, I got to get to bed and try to get 5 hours, I'm going to oversleep past what I need to. So I've kind of learned like it's going to suck the next day and I'm going to feel terrible most of it. But I'd rather not get a lot of sleep and be able to get up on
Mm.
time and then recover the next night or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why that. Like, I usually don't have a. Like, I could sleep a little bit, sleep a medium amount, a bigger amount, or longer amount, and it doesn't get to me. I don't have bad sleep.
That's because you're a
I
maniac. You said it
oh,
earlier.
well, that is true. Well, it's because my dad and brother, they have bad sleep issues, and brother's younger than I am, and my dad I think is older than I am, and it's just like they talk about the same thing. I'm like, what the heck are you two talking about? I'm like, I don't have this issue, and they're like, well, you're lucky. I was like, well, I have to get some luck somewhere, for God's sakes. Like,
Yeah.
leave me
It's been in
alone.
short supply, all right? So,
Right. Can't be, lucky all the time. So I get a really good one. I sleep really well, even if I sleep a little bit or a lot.
yeah, that's like I said, the only two areas I've had luck is I married up. So my wife, number one, and then my hair is number two. Everything else, my kids are pretty awesome. So I'll give them credit. My kids are pretty great.
There you go.
So I got lucky there. But
They're all better than you. I mean,
well, I mean, the pool of people that I'm better than is incredibly small. So, and I don't know if it even exists, to be honest with you.
Goodness.
So it's not a very high hurdle to jump. Let's put it that way. So
I've just loved you for the last 30 years of my life. So
God, that's terrifying, isn't it?
yeah, it's more like 17ish. How old am I again? 25 years. 25 plus years.
Yeah, it's when you start to stop and think about like how
I
long
know.
you've known some people, it's like, oh, that's
Kate,
college football freaks me out every time
oh
because
my
these kids
gosh.
coming into college football and for one thing they're giant compared to me.
I
It's
know.
like, oh, this kid's 18. It's like, oh, good lord.
Yeah, I mean,
He was born like after I graduated almost, it's crazy. So,
Taylor was what, a year and a half later, maybe two. I can't remember school very well. That was a long
oh,
time
when you
ago.
met Taylor or when you got to know
Yeah.
Taylor, it was
Yeah.
around the same time, I want to say.
Oh,
So,
I don't think so, because I didn't fall into the same circle.
Because I got to know you in
well,
your junior year, my junior year.
no, yeah, no, it had to be sooner than that. So I tell you
You
how I
think so?
remember Taylor. You want to know how I remember Taylor?
Oh boy.
This is going to be good.
I'm a senior, right? And there's a dodgeball tournament, war ball. We call it war ball at Highland High, okay,
Yeah.
Sparta, Ohio, and this is pre that, right? This is a couple months leading up to. I remember I'm in there and I'm cocky. I'm just, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if anybody knows that about me. I have a little cocky arrogance about me. And I see Taylor over there. I was like, this lower classman piece of shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna fix his ass. I'm gonna right upside the head, right? This sumbitch just throws a sidearm blind shot and boosh right upside my face. I'm like, that's the most amazing thing. And I'm like, yes, I don't know who you are, but yes. And that's how I met Taylor. And like we were friends ever since then. So, but yeah, he bastard got me out in Warball, but with a magnificent blindsided move I never saw coming. I was waiting for him to throw it. I was gonna poop right in the back of the head like a little bitch, and nope, he turned me into a bitch right there.
But see, and that's
To
kind of
you,
the story
Taylor.
of our friendships is you became Taylor's friend out of admiration. You became my friend
Absolutely.
out of pity. So, this poor guy, he needs somebody.
See, and I remember meeting you.
Oh God,
I was hanging out. I was.
Do we have to do
Oh
this?
fuck yeah, we do. I'm hanging out with my good friend Dan, and Dan has a brother named Mitch. Mitch, underclassman again, so
Same
whatever.
grade as Taylor and I.
You're over with him and I think Jared. And we're all in Dan and Mitch's room. They had a pretty large room that they shared, 2 water beds, and me and Dan are talking. We're cool. Graham, Jared, Mitch, not cool, right? Um, and I say
Bunch of
something. Graham,
nerds.
Graham makes a joke. Oh yeah, Heil Hitler, man. And I'm like, that's not funny. What do you mean, man? I'm Jewish, piece of shit. Like, and he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, dude, that shit's just not freaking, man. And I started laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm not Jewish. What are you stupid? And that's how I met Graham. And I loved him ever since then too.
Drew, it's
God,
2025. I don't know that I want that on the internet.
I'll be honest give a shit.
I'll be canceled forever.
Look, I don't like Nazis. Jews are fine. No problem with it. But, I mean, you just made an innocent joke. I just happened to capitalize on it.
Yeah. I can think we can all say we were all pretty young and dumb at one point.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely stupid. And I don't think much has changed.
It's just, luckily, there weren't a lot of recording devices around then until
Thank
your
God.
friend brings it up 20 later on a podcast that's being recorded.
I think about it.
Recording.
I think about it all the time. What I shared there was a story of your sympatheticness towards my culture that I don't actually have.
After a horrible joke.
And look,
I don't
nowadays everybody.
How Graham and I met though.
Yeah.
I feel like when we were in journalism class, we already knew each other pretty well.
Where the hell was there journalism? Where was a journalism class?
We were in
Greenwood.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, exactly.
I was failing it until the teacher told me I was failing it, and then 2 weeks later, I actually tried and I had an A in it. So, because I was like, all right, I should probably actually do some work here.
What, did you write down a word? Like, what the hell?
No, Taylor, we actually just I just did my assignments. Most of the time was spent talking to Taylor about anime and video games.
We did that in the, what was Lincoln wrote the story about my missing ear. I remember that was one of those.
It still is missing, by the way.
Yeah, it still hasn't been found. Last sighted in Mexico. But
my favorite, real quick, my favorite story of Taylor's ear is we were all hanging out and Jared, Taylor, and I were you. I can't remember if you were there or not, Drew.
I don't know if was this talking about being in heaven.
No. This is
okay.
So we were all hanging out and we were taking Taylor back to his house to drop him off. And we pull in and we had met your dad a few times then, we had talked to him a couple times here and there, but we didn't know him very well. And we pull in
there for this.
And Taylor gets out of the car, and as he's getting out of the car, his dad comes walking out of the house towards the car. And he turns around and leans back in the window and he goes, "Get out of here. He'll talk your ear off. Look what he did to me." And he pointed at his ear.
I wasn't there for that story. I wasn't there for that, right? But when you told me this, I visualized it in my head as if I was there because I remember talking to Taylor's dad at a football game.
Oh, yeah.
and when you told me that story, I just imagined him derp out the door.
Totally. And he was coming out to have a conversation. Yeah.
Go.
It was hilarious.
Run.
I talked to him, what was last year or so, I want to say, when I went over and you were at the park for your book release.
Yeah.
And your family was there. Yeah, I talked to him a little bit there. He's still same old Taylor's dad. So
yeah.
Does he have a name besides Taylor's dad?
Phil. I honestly don't know your dad's name.
Oh,
Taylor's dad.
Jeff.
Oh,
Jeff.
You have told me that. Yeah, Jeff. I always just call him TD. Taylor's dad. No disrespect, Taylor's dad, Jeff. You'd think I'd remember that because my uncle's name is Jeff.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible with names, man. I'm disgustingly bad with names.
Same here. People will tell me, and it's like right through my head, and then I'm like, oh, "Who am I talking to again? Oh crap!" Jim?
Who are you?
So how often do you have, because I know I know the business you're in. I meet a lot of people, and I must be really recognizable, or I'm that bad with names. People, oh, Drew, man, how you doing, bud? Hey, how's the family? Like, hey,
No, it's first
you.
off, part of it might be your name. The other part of it is your personality. Because another
No.
one of my favorite stories was when we went back to pick up your diploma from high school. I went with Drew, and it was the year after I had graduated.
Yes,
So
I was.
you were
Remember, I'm out of high school for 2 years at this point. 2
yes.
years, I'm gone.
So we roll in, and her name was Judy, right?
The
Judy,
secretary, yeah.
Is that her name?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the secretary at the schools. So we
God
at the high
love her.
school. We walk in,
Great lady.
and
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Drew walks in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Drew, I haven't seen you in like 2 years. How are you? Just
Hugging
how's your
me.
how things been? What are you doing? Whatever." And she looks over at me and she goes, "Oh, I don't think I've met your friend." And Drew and I looked at each other, and Drew was like, "You should know him. He just graduated."
Been here for 4 years.
Yeah,
It ain't
literally,
like it was a big high school either.
yeah.
Oh, it
I'm
wasn't.
literally
It was so small.
I'm third generation graduate from Highland, but
Now,
it's my
I will
grandpa
say,
and my parents, my mom went there, but it's fine, I guess.
in my defense, I spent way more time in that office than you did.
That's true. I was like never in that office. I was very good at essentially disappearing into the walls in that
Yeah,
school.
and that's how Judy
So-
remembered you. She didn't even
I-
know that you were there.
I'd be surprised if half the teachers there don't remember me because if you weren't my friend, you probably didn't even know I existed in that school. I was very good at just like staying under the radar of everybody. Kept
Now,
me out of a
see-
lot of trouble, I feel like. So
Senior year was my highlighted moment. Not because I was a senior, but I remember, I was a fairly intelligent person, and I had senior year. You have a lot of study halls, right? You're kind of out of classes. You're just waiting until that day to just never come back. So man, I'd be in there playing Castlevania Harmony of the Moon, I believe it was called, for the GBA Game Boy Advance. This underclassman like, hey dude, do you know algebra or whatever? I was like, yeah, man, I'm good. Could you help me? I was like, oh, sure, man. Like, I wasn't like a jerk to anybody. I thought I was pretty cool to people. So I'm helping him with his homework. And Mr. Flory, if you're out there and you ever listen to this, screw yourself. He's
coming in
like,
hot.
oh man, you want to explain what you're doing talking to my study hall? I'm like, brother, I'm just helping this kid with his homework. Like, he's just trying to get his work done. To explain why you're talking, I was like, I'm helping someone. Nose on the trophy case. I'm not putting my nose on nothing. What's your problem, man? You're not. And he goes bright red. He was a ginger.
Oh, I
He's
remember
going.
him. Oh,
He's
yeah.
going red. I'm like, dude, you need to calm down. I'm not putting my nose on shit. And he loses it. Go to the principal. I was like, you got it, bucko. I'm out of here. So I go down to the principal's office, and our principal, God love her too, Miss Wyckoff, right? Mr. Zapko, what are you doing here? Flory told me to come down here. Why? I was trying to help a kid with his homework. I was talking in study hall, and he told me to put my nose on the trophy case. What the hell is his problem? That's what I said. Well, what are we doing? I got Game Boy. What are we playing? Castlevania. Let's do it. And me and her sat there and played Castlevania for 30 minutes together.
I'll tell you what, a lot of
She was
kids
great.
I talked to did not like her at all.
She was
But
great.
the kids that like talked to her and knew her, I always heard really good things about. Again,
Time
I
in
never
her
had any.
office.
Yeah, again, I didn't have any interaction with her, so
My first interaction with her, where Mrs. Belcher's classroom was, right close to the bathrooms and stuff.
Mhm.
I went to flick a bottle cap into the trash can. I was just like, I was right because my desk was right by the door, so I was like, I'll just throw it right through there, and it careened off to the side and it hit her. And she turned around and she was like, "Can I help you?" And it was like, well, no, not really. And this was like first 9 weeks, so I'm still pretty new to the school district. And she was like, "You need to go to the office." I was like, "Okay." So I was in the office, and there's some outdoor thing that had to be done, and I missed that. And then she came in, and we had a chit chat for a little bit and stuff. I was just kind of bored. I started writing some stuff. It actually might have been where I started uh, getting into writing because I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, oh. And she's like, well, what you writing? I was like, this. And she was like, oh, that's pretty good. I was like, well, thank you. And so we just kind of had chit chat, and that was it. And just always kind of kept on nice terms there with her and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I thought she was great. I really did. So
Yeah, I like I said, I had no interaction with her. It was just what I heard from other students.
hmm.
So take it with a
well, they
grain of
were all
salt.
dumbasses. They were all dumbasses.
Well, it was Highland. So
Yeah.
I mean, we
Ouch.
managed to graduate. So all right. Anything else? I'm gonna go ahead and drag us back on topic here a little bit. I feel
I was
like
just say you want
we've
to pivot
covered.
Pull
to
it in.
you want to pivot to your
Pull it in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think we got through the topic.
slash
So
tangents.
tangents, mostly tangents.
It's always
all
a
right.
tangent.
All right, so throwback corner this week is actually mine, and I think I mentioned last episode. I've been thinking about Halloween and stuff coming. So my throwback is, what is your favorite holiday tradition as a kid? So not so much as an adult, but stuff you did with your family maybe, or growing up that was like your favorite tradition. And
Just walks
it doesn't have to be,
straight
you
by.
don't have to give your favorite holiday, but just your favorite tradition. So for viewers, some context. Last episode, there was a lot of traffic behind Drew, and he was complaining because he spent 3 hours blurring faces. So he's trying to avoid
hang
that now.
Thank you, DaVinci Resolve, in your AI Magic Mask 2. You saved me so much manual effort. Thank you.
This is why I do mine with my back to a wall where nobody can walk behind me.
I was recently kicked out of my office, and I'm in a new space, and I don't have it configured properly quite yet.
It's a work in progress.
It is. My life is a work in progress.
So I'll go ahead and tell mine. I probably had a very different trick or treat routine than most kids. We all lived in a fairly rural area, but I know a lot of kids that lived in rural areas, their parents would drive them to a local town or a bigger city, and they would walk around there doing trick or treat. So what we did in my neighborhood is there was a trick or treat network, if you will, and my aunt ended up taking it over for a while, but it started with another lady. She would call around to the houses around the area and ask who was handing out candy. And once she would get a list, she would then get a list, call around and find out how many kids were trick or treating. So she would send the list of trick or treaters to the people handing out candy so they knew how many kids were to expect. And then she would take the people that were handing out candy and create a map. And then she would send that out to all the parents that were taking kids trick or treating. So we drove around the neighborhood using a map, and you knew exactly how many stops you were going to have. And it was nice for the people handing out candy because they knew how many were coming, and they could really pack the candy bags because you might hit 10 houses. I think like it was usually 10 to 12 houses, so it wasn't that many, but they would give you essentially little bags full of candy, so you weren't getting just one piece. So we still would go home with a decent amount. And I always just thought that was really unique, and that was kind of a fun way growing up doing it. Now I take my kids, we live in a neighborhood, and we take my kids out and they trick or treat for 2 hours or however long it runs. And I definitely see the appeal of that. It very much gives you like that traditional Halloween trick or treat vibe. But I just always remembered really enjoying the way we did it. It was so unique, and I didn't know really anybody else that ever did that. So that's probably my favorite tradition that I don't even know if it still goes on anymore. So
That I don't know. That sounds really fun though. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember Halloween in Marengo, Sparta type area.
yeah,
There wasn't a whole lot of pickings there.
well,
So I mean, that's
especially
really
Sparta,
I know. So
there's no one there. So
that's really cool
So
that was put
to
on.
be fair, I grew up in Sunbury, so not like it was that much bigger, but at least at the time, so there was a little bit more like that was a little bit more mischievous time for Taylor. Like especially when I got
Yeah.
to go by myself.
Well, it's
Nice.
like where I live now, we don't even go out of our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is big
Yeah.
enough that like
Mm.
we can't even cover the whole neighborhood in 2 hours.
Yep.
So we don't even go into Delaware proper. We stay in actually my little neighborhood, and that's really nice. So
So this ties into Halloween and trick or treating. So I got a golf cart the last couple years, and the first year I had it, my whole mission was to get this thing ready for trick or treating with my kids because I'm old. I don't want to walk
yeah.
and it could be hot here in Houston
Oh, for sure.
in
Yeah.
October. It could be hot.
Mm.
And the first year, man, I got it ready. Thank you, mom and dad. That my Christmas gift from them that year was batteries for the golf cart. I got everything else ready. They bought the batteries. So love you, mom and dad. You guys are the best. Um, so we're going all right, and it is a miserable cold. Like we're probably in the 40s. It's for Houston. This is like freezing, right? Like
Mm.
people are dying. They don't know what to do. Um, and we're going around this neighborhood. My wife looks like Jesus' mom Mary. She's all bundled up in scarves and stuff. Dude, we had so much candy taking this golf cart around. Like we had to like have one bag as a dump for the kids. One kid would go with their bare hands like we were too poor for a bag for them. We had so much candy. Well, they didn't need candy for 4 years. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
Such a good time. Loved the golf cart. Last year, they all had. My son was Godzilla, massive costume. Couldn't sit on the golf cart proper. My daughter had she had a alien hugging her, which is Graham's worst nightmare. And I can't remember what Kaylin was, but like it was super hot and it was miserable, and we all wanted to go home. And thank God the headlight on my golf cart died to where we had to go home because
You were
had
forced to
enough
go home. Yeah.
had enough candy. Time to go. But
Yeah.
sorry for the side rant.
No, you're fine. So, what are your guys' favorite holiday traditions
Say,
as a
Drew,
child?
you wanna take the baton?
Sure. So mine is not Halloween. I think mine is the next holiday event, which is Thanksgiving. Now, mom, if you're listening, forgive me. I don't know the location, but for every Thanksgiving, I'd go to 800 houses. This grandparent, that grandparent, these other people. But for my mom's parents, we would go to this place we would rent. Can't remember the name of it. Sorry. They had pool, they had foosball, they had darts. None of that held a candle to tackle football outside in the cold, with family friend, like people that you just thought was family because you known your whole life. But we had a heck of a game of tackle football outside that went until food was served and then it picked back up. And I just remember some of my favorite memories is beating the crap out of my cousins, my uncles, them beating the crap out of me. I mean, something about tackle football just is it's magical. It's magical.
Yeah, I used to play a little bit on Thanksgiving with my cousin back when he was still alive, and that was always a good time. We'd go hang out at one of my aunt and uncle on my dad's side. They have a million friends,
The
and they were always
the
doing
Weaver
parties.
clan?
No.
Okay.
The Miller side,
Okay.
my dad's sister. Um, they had they still have a million friends, so we were always surrounded by a bunch of families and stuff. We'd all go out and play tackle football on Thanksgiving, and uh, we did it a lot for OSU games too. We'd
Oh,
get together to watch OSU
great
games,
times.
and I feel like at least my memory was like most of the games back then felt cold all the time. Like you
Yeah.
were watching
Oh,
any time of the year you were watching, it was cold outside. You're out tackling
absolutely.
each other on the hard ground and running through leaves and stuff. And it's part of why I just love fall so much.
Mm.
Fall's incredible. So,
I mean, I remember my single wide modular home. You and Jared always coming over, and I'm outside grilling, brats on the
oh
grill,
yeah, oh yeah,
and it was always cold, but just great times, man.
yeah,
Buckeye games. I absolutely loved every Saturday.
yep. Coming up, I'm so excited. Can't
Can't
wait.
wait. Number one versus number two, the
Dun, dun,
rematch.
dun.
Yeah, that's gonna be massive. And of course, it's a noon game. I'm about to lose my mind on Fox.
Those SOBs. They not only canceled Firefly, but they're pulling this crap.
Yeah, it's unacceptable, honestly.
Unacceptable.
So, Taylor, what about you, bud?
Oh well, just to piggyback off of that, yeah, I did a bunch of tackle football and stuff with the cousins, and that was brother and stuff too. So that was always fun. I always think, oh, somebody get an injury. No, never. There was nobody ever ended up with an injury or anything. We were, we would hit each other, but never got like anybody like a broken leg or anything like that. So that was always nice.
I'll tell you,
So,
there's something about that age. It's like you're made out of rubber.
You
Now I fall down and I fracture something, but back then it was. I mean, you would just
Speak for
destroy each
yourself.
other and get back up. Oh no, I break stuff when I fall down. So
I stepped out of a van holding like 60 pounds of stuff and missed the step ladder, or like the step to take the step to get down to the bottom, put my foot on the curb, or like the not the little bumper curb for the vehicle, and my foot slipped off of that, so I have like an additional 60 pounds of weight, and like I'm not a tall guy, and so it's a little bit tall for me, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm spry, nothing broke, nothing.
congratulations. I feel very happy for you.
Oh yeah, I have to. Like I said, some things I just get to be lucky on.
Last summer, I made an ill-timed slide into third base and almost broke my foot off my leg.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I was out for like 2 weeks. It was terrible. So I'm so happy you rebounded so fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you sneeze and you throw your back out.
I've done it golfing and turning on the shower. So those are true stories. And when I was golfing, it wasn't even a full swing. I was doing a tiny practice chip at the edge of the green, and that club face, as soon as it touched the ground, and I was just like gently swinging, and I thought it pop, and I went right down onto my hands and knees. I was like, "Oh my god, what happened?"
Whew.
It was it was bad.
I hate doctors, right? I hate them. I don't like going to them. All I want is my money. And I was in Ohio visiting, and I was gonna play golf with Graham, Jared. I think Dan may have been there, and I'm in no position to go anywhere. I called Graham. I was like, "Hey, dude, we're gonna go play golf." I was like, "I need you to bring me a flask of whiskey." He's like, "Oh yeah, we'll share." I was like, "No, you don't understand. I have a shoulder injury. I need the whole flask. Like, it's the only way I'm going to be able to play golf." Can't remember what course it was, but like, the first swing is, practice swing, oh my God, it hurts so bad. And then, take a shot, I step up, and I swing and did and it's like just 260, 270, head down the pipe. He's like, "I fucking hate this guy."
Oh yeah. I remember one time we were golfing and Drew gave me a 3-wood. He was like, "Hey, I got this 3-wood. It hits real nice, whatever." I was like, "All right." So we were out golfing and I'm trying to hit this 3-wood, and every time I hit it, it's just awful. I mean, just the worst swing, worst hit. And he goes, "Is something going on with the club? What's the matter?" He goes, "Let me see it." So he walks up and drops a ball and just smokes one like 200 yards. He goes, "Nope, it's not the club, it's you," and just gave it right back to me. It's like
200.
what a
That's
dick.
like that's my 230 club. Like, come on, let's not belittle me
Forgive
too
me.
much.
I was
Give the
I
man
wasn't
credit
trying to
now,
stretch
come
it
on.
too much.
Get it right.
No, yeah. I was like, what a dick. What a dick.
You know what though? I tell you why I'll always love you. I loved golf. I was at your aunt and uncle's with you, and Graham had a Hickory golf club. There was no real good internet back then, and Graham's like, "You want to try it?" I'm like, "I don't know if I should. Like, this is historical. It's very old. It's a wood shaft." So I hit it one time, and I mean, I pured this 3-iron. I probably went 150 yards because it was wooden and it was beautiful. Graham gave me this golf club, and
Yeah.
I actually played a whole round of golf with it last year. I have a whole Hickory set now, and I could probably sell my clubs and play Hickory the rest of my life and be happy. It's such a different golfing experience, and that might be a topic for a future podcast.
There you go.
Hickory
yeah,
golf.
save it. Save that. All right, Taylor, what you
All
got
right.
for your
So,
favorite tradition?
I will pivot a little differently than what I was going to go because Drew and I talked a little bit beforehand. I thought thinking over it more. I lived right there on the square in Sunbury when I was a wee lad, and um, while perhaps not, well, not perhaps, it's definitely not my favorite holiday, but you'd have the Memorial Day, but then in Sunbury you'd have the Fourth of July parade come through. And so and being right there, right on the square and everything, you get the 4th of July parade come through as well as the Memorial Day parade. And then the flea market right across the street. And so
Ooh.
yeah, so that was always something to just kind of go through and because it used to be like a maze of, and it's probably still to some degree pretty wild over there. I haven't been over there in decades, but just having that, sitting there watching the parade go by and everything, that was probably something I really would enjoy because we didn't, we'd go over to family and then play football and stuff, or whatnot for Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I don't know. I guess just to be a little different, to go over and look at all these random flea market deals and
Oh yeah.
just odd trinkets and stuff was kind of a neat experience as a kid. So
I
Absolutely.
I was never the biggest parade guy. Like we didn't go to parades when I was a kid or anything really like that.
mm,
My daughters were in the Fourth of July parade this year, though. That was pretty cool. And then um, I have a couple members of my family that one is retired, one is currently in the Columbus City Fire Department, um, and they walk in the St. Patty's Day parade. And a couple years ago, if St. Patty's Day fell on Sunday, and so my wife and I took the kids down and hung out for the St. Patty's Day parade. And it was a lot of fun because we got to go to the firefighters Union Hall and hang out there for like a couple hours before. They had food and beer and all kinds of drinks. So you'd hang out there for a while, then you'd walk down a couple blocks, watch the parade, watch the firefighters in the parade, and then you go back and everybody would hang out for a couple more hours or whatever. And that was a lot of fun. So I can see, I'm starting to see the draw to parades still a little more, but there's like 4 of them in Delaware that we've really haven't even done. There's like the all horse parade around the jug and the Christmas
Yeah.
stuff. And
Horses
so,
smell.
yeah, I don't,
They
I'm
make
not-
good glue.
I think they have a little more uses than that, but yes, that is a use.
I would
So-
say
I
they're
mean-
not very tasty.
Have you
I've never
had
tried.
horse?
I have had horse, yeah.
Is that a Japanese thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know why we're not allowed to eat horse here. I want to try it.
It's you're not missing anything.
That's what I've
Dang
heard.
it. See, that's disappointing.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, if you like venison, that's one thing, but it is
Oh
not.
yeah.
It don't
Venison is good.
It don't lean in the venison route. It's
Speaking of odd eats, I got a call, well, random call, like years back. I get a phone call from Graham, completely out of the blue. Hey man, what's going
I
on?
remember this.
And he, yeah, right. Just,
I know
I mean,
where you're
just-
going with this.
Graham and I talked less a while back. I mean, I live in Houston. He lives in Ohio. So, we talk every couple of months. But he calls me up. He's like, hey, man. I was like, what's up, dude? He goes, hey, just random question. I was like, great, shoot. He goes, if I ever had to, like, it wasn't diseased or nothing, but for some medical reason I had to cut off my leg, would you eat it with me? And, most people would probably be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But me, I'm like, this is a good question. Would I try people? I'm like, you know what, Graham? If there's nothing wrong with it, why not? Let's grill it up.
It's
I
got
don't know what's
to
wrong.
taste similar to pork,
That's right.
Yeah, long pig.
It's got.
you
I
know?
mean, if we find
Who's gonna
pigs so
know?
tasty and pigs find
Who's gonna
us so
know?
tasty, I mean, it's got to be like right there. Like,
So I heard that question on a podcast, and
Is that
that's
how this
where-
came up?
That's how that came about.
And
yeah,
you
they were
just
asking
thought
that
to
question.
yourself, let me call Drew?
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. Which
Sure.
I will say, at the time I heard it, I was like, I mean, you're never really going to get that chance ever again. It's
I
like,
remember that was
would
part of the
I?
conversation.
And as I've gotten older, because actually it's kind of funny, I watched a video about cannibals the other day, and I thought to myself that question that came popped in my head, and I was like, now that I'm almost 40, I don't think I think no, I don't think I would at this point.
So,
So I think that's out of the realm of possibility now.
I remember telling my
So
wife about it, and she's like, "What's wrong with him?" I was like, "God only
where do
knows, right?"
where do you start? Yeah.
But she's a big Walking Dead fan, and I told her, like, if the apocalypse ever happens, like, I'll absolutely eat people. And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Look, you're either the eaten or the eater, and I'm not going to be, the latter here. I was like, she's like, "Well, I'm going to leave you." I was like, "That puts you on the menu, honey."
That's it's funny. You talk to people about like, oh, what would you do if the apocalypse came? And everybody makes these plans, and I take anti-rejection meds that if I don't take them every day, I die pretty quickly from heart failure. So I know if the apocalypse happens, I'm
That's
either
it.
I'm going to die quickly, or I'm going to sacrifice
You're gonna
myself or my family or something. You know what I mean? Because
you're,
I'm not going
you're
to be
gonna
around
get
for long.
yeah, you're gonna get through that bottle of meds. Mike Tyson said it the best. Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
know.
I already know what's going to happen. So it's like I'm not too worried about surviving too long.
Yeah.
Can I keep the
If
people
I'm in
around
the
me
area,
alive longer?
if I'm in the area, you'll be the first I grill up.
Well, thank God you're in Texas, not Ohio. So it's going to be a long trek to
Drew, I'm
find me.
still alive. Not for long.
Buddy, I got about a week's left to supply here. You better get up here.
Hopefully it falls during like winter time and you just toss yourself in the creek or something. Keep you on ice. Chill.
No, why would I try to facilitate that, Taylor?
Help a friend out. Like, what the
No.
hell?
To be useful. To be
No,
useful.
it's fine. I'm fine not being useful in that scenario.
But you could kind of, sort of always be with us then.
That's awful.
For about 14 hours.
Well, I mean, once it breaks down and everything.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about the thought of me being inside of you. Okay.
You look at the afterthought. You look at the you look at the aftermath, right? Graham is a piece of shit on the ground, but like I always knew he was a piece of shit.
This is exactly why I'm not going to do it. That's going to be my memory.
And if we had any viewers, they are
lives.
gone.
Yeah. The 4 viewers we had are out.
Ouch.
So
Are we gonna segue now? We're gonna go into our last round here.
yeah, I think we need somehow we got from
We're gonna break away.
what's our favorite holiday tradition to Graham is a
To
piece of
cannibalism.
shit. So yeah, I think we need
and
to,
cannibalism.
I think we need to move
So-
on now.
All right, so mine was like your top 3 like favorite moments of your life. Now I said they can't be marriage or kids or the first time you ever got laid because those are too obvious, right? So it has to be something slightly more selfish. I don't mean to say selfish, but more personal besides joining or growing other people. So I'm gonna kick it off with my first one. So I had moved to Texas. I was a single man. I wasn't at a great point in my life, and I decided I wanted to go home. I wanted to see my family. Now, same time, my sister lived in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm looking to come to town. Like, just looking to break away, have a good time." I was like, "I want to surprise Mom. So if you could say, hey, we're meeting some friends, family, whatever, at Pizza House, again, Sinclair Road, Columbus, Ohio, one of the best pizza places around. Go there." He's like, "Oh man, yeah, that's great. Well, happy to see you." I was like, "Great, man." So I called my sister. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Ohio." She's like, "Oh, I wish I could go." I was like, "Great. I got your plane ticket. Give me your driver's license number, and I'm gonna fly you to Ohio." Single man, good paycheck, flew her in, but my parents had no clue. So when I'm in Pizza House, Mom and Dad are asking for a table, and I come up and I get behind my mom and I give her a big hug. She turns around, she's, "Oh, my boy," right? And my dad's tearing up. He cries in the right moment. He's all proud of himself. He kept a secret from Mom. Surprised her. And at that point, my sister comes up behind him, sneaks out from another corner. She hugs behind him. He turns around, not knowing what the hell's going on. And then, I mean, you talk about parents turning into a blubbery mess. That was like the first time I think we were all together in five years.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just seeing them and what it meant to be a parent was just a magical moment for me as an adult, and it meant the world, and I still think about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, that's
my
pretty
one.
awesome. It's your first. It's a good one.
That's a
Yep.
good one.
Taylor?
Oh, we're passing to me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So, I don't know. Man, that's a really good one to lead on. I don't know if I should go because I was talking to Drew about it, and I was like, the three I have aren't as they're not like happy ones.
It doesn't
Well, I
matter
mean, they
what it
didn't
is.
have to be.
It
Right.
doesn't
No,
have to
I
be.
know. But I mean, so I guess I'll keep it at least in the spirit of joyful. When well, because the other two aren't in a way, but the the when I was in Bowling Green, I the spring semester or how now I'm getting foggy. No, it was fall. The fall semester of my sophomore year, I got a bunch of people together. There was like 50, 60 of us, and um, we commandeered one of the lounge rooms on the floor of where I was staying at, and I put together a thing called VGO. It was the Video Game Olympics. I basically pulled everybody who had like a system or game or something. I made like a whole like a time trial thing for like Mario and Sonic. Oh, here's a fighting game, here's a racing game and stuff, and we randomized the teams and stuff, and it came out in such a way that it was a fairly even draw for all three teams and stuff, and everybody had a blast. It was just a really cool time. I remember not terribly much of it, since I was as master of ceremonies there and doing all of it. So in a way, I'm kind of a little divorced from it, but I did participate in some stuff, and it was just really fun to do that, and just everybody had a blast with it, and it was just a really good time, and it was just kind of like, oh, I could do this sort of stuff. Like, it was kind of a nice little confidence booster for myself in a way, because it's like, oh, I can do this sort of thing and whatnot. So
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. That'd
mm.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was great.
absolutely.
So
Grand. Yours.
I'd have to say my first one. I'll tell you what, this is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Trying to think of everything through your life, and so I'd have to say my number one is waking up after the transplant, and seeing my wife there, and Drew was actually there as well. So
I
that
thought
does
you were
not make
dying,
it
you son of a bitch.
huh?
I thought you were gonna die, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah, Drew was there as well, but the big thing was seeing my wife. And a little backstory for people that don't know. I know a lot of people know my story, but after I had the transplant, it went very well, as it should have. But then I ended up having a very random stroke after that, and the doctors aren't sure what happened, where it came from. And it was very strange in the sense that it showed up out of nowhere and then it just disappeared out of nowhere. And afterwards, after I've seen not psychologists, but like neurologists and stuff, they're like, there's never been any concern of another stroke. We don't think you're at higher risk. There was really no damage done from it. Um, if you ask my wife, my memory's terrible now, which I think there's maybe something to that. My memory is bad, which has made this even harder. But for the time after I had the stroke, I was unconscious and in and out, and they pretty much kept me so drugged up that I don't remember any of it. But my wife's because of the surgery, they couldn't give me certain painkillers because the risk of bleeding and stuff like that. So she said there were times where I'd be in so much pain that I was like trying to rip myself out of restraints in the bed. Um, to then like them putting me back under. There was a lot of discussion back and forth whether it wasn't a stroke. She was getting a bunch of information that wasn't aligning up. It was a very traumatic time for her. So to wake up and see the relief on her face and like finally I think this is over. And once I woke up, it was like a pretty incredible recovery. I kind of came out of it and like a day later I was up walking. Things just kind of shot uphill after that in the sense of improvement. Um, so that was a pretty incredible moment to come out of that because it took me months afterwards to remember any of it. I didn't remember the drive down or anything. It was a very surreal experience, and that was a very, very big moment to wake back up and kind of come back to the world. So I'd have to
and,
say that's probably my
and
number
see
one.
and see this beautiful face right here.
That's you were there. We'll leave it at
First off,
that. Yeah,
I'm gonna piggyback on Graham's moment here because one, his wife deserves medals, sainthood,
yeah.
because Graham was a dick. It was the medication. I mean, Graham's a great guy, but man, he was awkward with this medication. Go, boy. Children, what are you gonna do? And first off, I've never seen another man's nutsack so much in 24 hours as I did that day. Um, but
And I don't remember
Brittany,
any of this.
but
They
yeah,
had me pretty much out the whole time. So
Graham's wife is the most devout woman you could ever know. She's lovely in every way imaginable. Graham's lucky to have her, and he should always remember that. But my most fond memory of that day, besides him, like I'm one of the first faces he sees waking up, so that had to be traumatic for him. But I remember sitting there with him mid-afternoon. He's in a chair. He's got 800 tubes coming out of his chest. You know, the they're still there, but they're wearing off. And I'm either holding his hand or my hand's on his leg. I'm like, hey, man. He's like, ugh. And I was like, hey, when you're all better and we're home, you're home, I'm up, I'm hanging out with you and all that other stuff. He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to punch you in the dick for what you just put me through. He starts. I'm like, I hope it hurts. I hope it hurts, you son of a bitch. Like, I left my family, got on a plane, flew to Tennessee, just for him to wake up when I got there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well,
But
and that was the other thing because, like I said, I was not aware for any of it. I kind of remember driving down, and then I don't remember being in pre-op or anything. I remember driving down, and then I remember waking up a couple days later.
oh yeah,
And then hearing, Brittany was telling me of like the amount of people that had come down and visited, and like Jared had come down, and I still was, all these people came down and saw me, and I never came back. And then finally, I ended up coming back. It was a challenging experience, but one that I'll probably never forget. So it was pretty heavy.
that
So
was one of the hardest moments of my adult life. The thought of losing you, of all things. Um, I mean, I do love you. Gosh, that was a wild couple weeks there, man.
that's what I've heard. That's the problem is I don't remember any of it.
I met your
So
aunt. What was your aunt's name that I met there? She was awesome. I
Cheryl,
can't. Cheryl, just fantastic lady.
super super bubbly, very outgoing.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I'm always
Cheryl.
happy to be around your wife. She's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
I mean, she's the reason I come up to visit. I mean, she's so much
yeah.
better
I
than
think
you.
she's the reason you're still my friends.
So
No, Cheryl's a great lady. She's pretty awesome.
she is. She was fantastic.
She's the one on the Miller side, the Burn side.
Okay.
She's my dad's sister. So
She was a great hang.
she's great.
She really was. She was.
Oh, she's super.
Now, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You finish with your aunt
Oh,
Cheryl there. I love her.
no, she's the most personable. She'll talk to anybody, and if you want to meet new people, hang out with
Talk to
Cheryl
this
because she'll
guy.
talk to everyone.
Talk to
And
this
she's
guy.
she's very much like you in that
So
sense. So
that trip up though had one of my most favorite moments. But I mean, I went up there to see my friend. It was emotional, but on a complete side note of Graham had open heart, removal, reimplantment surgery. I get in this most amazing hotel, right? I don't remember what it is, whatever. But I remember I get up to my room, it's late at night, and I open the door and, bing. I'd already been in there once, and the door stops. It hits something. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Right? I look down and there's a black bag, and I'm like, "Is that my bag? Did I leave it there? Did I get in here and leave my bag and run out the door to go see Graham?" And I was like, "That seems weird." So I look in it. It's all sorts of weird stuff. I'm like, "That's not my bag, man. Like, is someone else in my room?" So I'm like, "Hello?" And I'm a loud guy. Anybody that knows me knows this. So I'm like, "Hello?" No one's answering. "Hello?" And there's a separate room that is my bedroom. And I'm hearing noises. I'm like, "Oh my God, I wish this was Texas. I'd have a gun on me." And so I'm going to the room. "Hello? Anybody in here?" No one's saying nothing, right? I get in the bedroom and here's this little lady um just in the room, and I'm like, ma'am, hello." And she turns around and just, "Wah!" So she throws whatever in her hand. So I scream, like, "Ah!" Like, what? And then I realize this chick is deaf. She doesn't hear nothing. So she's screaming. I'm screaming. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she's deaf," right? It's my first instinct. "Oh my God." Like, "I'm so sorry." She V-lines out of the room. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Who's in my room? And I realized she's a cleaning lady, but why is she there at 9:30 at night?
Yeah, that's
So
so
many
strange.
questions.
Yeah.
So, it's been a long day. I got on a pretty last minute flight to see my friend Graham. After his wife calls me and said, first off, when Graham's wife says, everything went great with Graham through the surgery, I'm now worried. Nothing in Graham's life goes smooth, okay? Nothing. His surgery went great. Oh God, I'm actually worried for the first time. So then she calls you 12 hours later. "He had a stroke. I don't know what's happening. Oh my God, can I come up?" "Yeah, you come up Sunday." "Okay, I'll be there Sunday." So 2 days later on a flight, right? And you terrify a deaf lady on an airplane or in your hotel room after an airplane ride. Your friend's fine. He's a dick. He wakes up the second you get there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to jump into number 2. Sorry, that's like the longest tangent I think I've had, but that was a big part of my adulthood right there. Jeesh.
Trust me, I feel it too.
I love you, and you're a
big part
bastard.
of my adulthood as well.
Got a whole new ticker. So anyway, my second is possibly the dumbest thing, but it's a fantastic memory. So we moved out of Columbus, Ohio to Marengo, Ohio, which is just adjacent to Sparta, which is where I met Graham and Taylor, right? Long, difficult process moving. My parents building a house, moving furniture, setting stuff up. I'm 13, 14 years old. It's a lot of work. And I remember my dad's like, "Hey man, whatever you want, I'm going to treat you for helping out so much, whatever." And I'm like, "Cool." And at this point, I remember seeing a video about a re-release of the game, Lunar. And this was Lunar, the Silver Star Story complete for the PlayStation 1. That's how old I am. And I was like, "Dad, I really want this game." So he's like, "All right, man, let's go." So we had to drive 5, 6 different stores, and finally we find it at a video games exchange. I want to say the one in Delaware off Lewis Center Drive. It's not there anymore, but we finally find it. I'm elated. It's a used copy for the PlayStation 1. My dad's like, "I don't want to buy a used game." I was like, "Dad, I don't think we're gonna find it new. I don't care. I just want to play the game." And it's a Sega CD, like 16-bit slash 32-bit game, but it's a phenomenal soundtrack. It's beautiful sprite driven game, great music, great animations, great cutscenes. And I just remember my dad doesn't play games. He may have played Atari. He doesn't understand why I like games, but that dude drove me all over Columbus and Delaware and probably Westerville to find this game, and never complained once, which is, Graham, my dad. That's unlike my dad in every way.
Great man. He's a great guy, but
he's a fantastic man. Just, it was so out of his character. it was such a fun time. It was such a fun thing to do.
That's
And
awesome.
I
Yeah.
still remember the game just, quite well in my mind. It's a game I'll never go back to because the memory is set, and I don't want to mess up that
Yeah.
memory.
I get that. I was about to say they remastered it and it's out on the PS4 and PS5 now.
Won't touch it.
So I've thought about picking it up down the
You
road
should.
because I've
It's an
heard you talk
amazing.
about it so much. So yeah,
It's
that's a good one.
probably I could have more better memories of that than Chrono Trigger. So you
That's like
could
my
redeem
dad.
yourself.
Remember, I remember my dad taking me to like the Ohio Historical Center when I was a kid. Because he was big into history. I was. That's the stuff that you'll probably never forget.
Did you ever go there for the Legend of Sleepy Hollow reading?
So it's funny you said that. As much as I love Sleepy Hollow, you think I'd go all the time because I love that story. And we had tickets last year to go get it, to go to it, but it rained the whole time, and we ended up deciding
Oh,
not to.
Mm.
So I think
that's
this
a
year I'm
great
going to try. Yeah,
that's a
because I've
great
been to
childhood
the
memory.
I've been to the Ohio Village, that historical village
Yep.
there, a couple times when I was a kid, and I want to take the girls to that. They've never done it, and I was like, "What's the better time than do it than for the Sleepy
It's
Hollow
great.
thing?"
We did
So
it almost every year for like 5 or 6 years. It was really cool.
yeah, I've always wanted to go. So I think we're going to try again this year. Like I said, we had tickets last year, but it rained the whole time, and we were like, and we didn't want to drive down there and deal with the rain. So no, it's on the list though. Taylor,
Cool.
Nice. Um, so this one's kind of I guess a very quick experience that I had, and this was in seventh grade as I was starting to, because I had just moved away from Sunbury, and I had an awful time, especially by the end of sixth grade, just with kids and just getting bullied and all sorts of stuff. It was not a good time, um, and we moved into Columbus, but I was going to a Westerville City school, and we it's just like a week before school, or just a couple days before it, and needed to get a haircut, and I was like I just want to buzz my hair and just buzz it all off. And they're like, my mom was kind of like worried about it. She's like, why do you want to do that? Aren't you worried about like showing your ear and stuff? And that was, for if I had kind of skewed into as we've gotten older in elementary school in sixth grade, was that I would keep my hair longer to kind of just not show it because kids would always be making fun of it. But that was, yeah, I was like, no, I want to buzz it. I just want to, it's there. Ain't nothing can do about it. Like, this is, they'll see it, and I'm not going to hide it. And that was kind of like um, I guess the first kind of moment I really just accepted me as I was with at least that kind of thing. And it was just a very, like, I don't think about it very often. Truthfully, I hadn't thought about it in eons until Drew brought up the topic, and I was like,
Yeah, but
what, that
now I feel like a dick.
no, 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 it was good. It was good because it was just like, that was a good, like, not like it was a great inflection point or anything, but it's like, thinking back is like that, like, Graham has told me before how he's mentioned to his daughters about how I went about going with my ear. It's like, okay, get your jokes out, like, go for it, like, you ain't gonna bother
yeah,
me. I've either heard them all before, or I can make funnier ones. So and I ain't even a funny guy, so that's got to be rather embarrassing.
that is
But
true. That is true.
so um so but it stemmed from that. Like, I know that sounds like really simple and really silly, but like, that moment of just kind of accepting of myself, and then just building from there, and being obnoxious and stubborn. It'd
So
probably be where it's from. So
I'll tell you. I remember I was at a Highland Scots football game, and I was sitting next to your dad, and I still have both my ears. And I don't know if you were in band or something, but your dad was there. You weren't around, and I could have been sitting with Dan. I can't remember who I was actually sitting with, but your dad, he's like, "Hey man, I just want to thank you boys." Just like, whatever, Jeff apparently. And,
Yeah.
we're like, all right, man, why? And, he brought up, he goes, Taylor was bullied his last school. And he came up here and he's like, everybody's been really, accepting. And I literally, for a second, I didn't even think of the reason why. And, for me, I just thought about Taylor, the heroic war ball thrower who took me out of the game. And, I don't know if you know that about your dad, but,
I can
that
imagine
was a
it. Yeah.
moment. It's just that was a moment that it sticks with me to this day. I remember it. I remember when I first, you and I first, reconnected on Facebook. There, it was one of the first things I thought of was your dad. Just
Mm.
just being a stand-up guy to a couple dipshit kids in high school. So
He's
Well,
good for he's good for that.
it's funny you bring that up because we're getting into middle school with my daughters, and they've already experienced a little bit of it. But as much as I'm trying to prepare them for like, hey, dealing with it when it happens to them, I almost have more of an emphasis because I wish I had been better at it in school because I was not a bully in school, but I was also not the kind of guy that would go out of my way to pick somebody up that was being bullied.
Mm.
Um, and I regret that. That's one of the things I wish I had been better at when I was younger and in school was like, if not even standing up for them, but just being somebody that they could talk to, or you
Hmm.
know what I mean. And I feel like my wife and we really stress not only like how to deal with bullies, but like if you see someone being picked on, you know, go help them, or go talk to them. Or I just wish I had done more of it when I was younger, and I'd love to see my daughters kind of do that
yeah,
as well as when they go to school,
it,
because
I, it makes you
kids
a
can
bit of an
be the
outcast.
biggest
It does.
kids can be the biggest jerks
Mm.
on earth. I mean, they don't quite understand yet, and some of them will grow up and continue doing that. A lot of these kids are just going through phases or having rough lives, or the bullies and the people being bullied, and it's just a really hard time. And
Right.
um, as you get older, you realize like it, it wasn't worth being that way to anybody. Nothing was ever gained from it. So it's
Nope.
like if you see somebody down, don't be afraid to go pick them up and help them,
Mm.
or be a friend to them or whatever.
Well,
So
I had a circle back moment at Bowling Green, like my last year there. I ran into one of them. Like he was going to Bowling Green too, and it was kind of surprising because it wasn't like it was just one constant. It would just be like, oh, one person would do it for a bit, one person would do it for a bit, one person would, and then you just
yeah,
kind of get ostracized. And and I seen him, and not like PTSD kind of thing, but I was like, is that who I think that is? And then
yeah,
the second day, like the following day, I saw him again. I was like, I got to say something. And just not like, who the fuck, but, I just
yeah,
want to say, it's like, hey, are you who I think you are? And it was, and we had a really pleasant conversation, and we just kind of talked,
yeah.
and it like really broke a, a, and I don't know if how deeply seated it was or unconscious it was to just kind of have that sort of kernel of, or that just ball of just, um, I don't want to say angst, but just that, I
Maybe
guess
some
angst,
resentment
some
a
just a
little.
resentfulness of something
Yeah,
you couldn't really
Sure.
control. It really just kind of cracked it and just kind of
yeah,
completely blew it away. And I was, because I was like, oh, okay, we're all having our own issues at the time, and somebody who I thought was a complete and utter schmuck is turned into this. Not to say that everybody will,
no,
but
but
at least give them the benefit of the doubt.
I feel like for the most part, most people do. They
Mm.
kind of grow out of it and realize, hey, it was kind of dumb, you know. But like I said earlier in the episode, we were all dumb kids. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, um, so my second one is the first time, well, the only time we've taken my kids to Disney World. Little backstory: on my mom's side of the family, my aunt and uncle, they love it. They go all the time. They've taken me and my cousins, who are like my sisters, taken us several times. It's always been a good time down there. And they reached out when the girls, it's been probably 4 years or so. It's been a while. they reached out and they're like, "Hey, we think they're old enough that they're at the perfect age. They'll really enjoy it. We want to like help you guys. We'll get the hotel and some stuff, and if you guys can pay for the flights and tickets and stuff like that, we really want to take them down." So we went down, and my kids can be challenging, like most children, but when we go out in public, they're actually really good kids. They're very well behaved in public, and I just remember it was like you almost couldn't have asked for a more perfect vacation with kids. It went well. They loved it. My aunt and uncle loved having them. Brittany and I had a great time. It was just a really, really great vacation. And it's one of those, like, as a parent, it's kind of you dream of that dream vacation. Um,
Sure.
so that was a great moment because with the way the economy is and everything, and stuff's hard to do nowadays. And
It sure
to
is.
be able to have that kind of experience on one of the few times you're able to do it, it left an impression for sure. So,
It's awesome. All right. So
nice.
jumping to number 3.
Yep.
All right. So for me, this is so I mean, Graham and Taylor both know I played golf all 4 years of high school. Um, my freshman year, it's just because I wanted to break from football, basketball, every other sport you could imagine. So my freshman year, I really took it easy. I was gonna play golf, and I made number 2 varsity. I mean, I'm no like magical golfer here, but I was pretty much stuck with golf throughout high school because I kept going to anaphylactic shock for every stupid reason you could imagine. Um, so I played golf, and then went through high school, didn't make the college team. Because I was just a dumb kid back then. I didn't understand practicing. But I was 19, 20 years old, and it was one of my cousin's birthdays. Don't know whose, don't care. And I called my cousin, like, hey, man, let's go play some golf. He's like, hey, let's do it. Great guy to go play golf with, great golfer himself. And we're at Wyandotte Golf Course up in Centerville, Ohio. And I shot a 35 on the front. I'm 1 under par. And I've been under par on 9 holes a couple dozen times in my life. Not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm like, hey, dude, I'm feeling it. I got to play the backside. He's like, dude, we got to go to the birthday party. I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm 1 under par. Look, we're gonna keep going. Like, I'm under par. I got to keep going. He's like, you're right. You're right. I was like, great. I got you. I'll pay for your back 9. No big deal. And I shot 2 under par on the back for a 69. Now, Wyandottes not a long course, right? I'm not, it was a magical to shoot 3 under par, sub 70.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've done it in my life. I've been close before, but never, never again. I probably never will again. But man, I remember like that last hole on 300. I'm like, oh my gosh, just one more hole to go, right? My drive, it goes a little wide to the right. I'm behind this little tree, and I'm like, I'm 100. It's amazing what you remember. I'm 155 yards, but I got to get the ball up quick in front of this little tree in front of me. And I hit the purest 8-iron you could imagine with Ben Hogan Apex Plus irons, magical set of irons. Shout out to you, Ben Hogan. I land 25 feet from the pin, long right, and 2-putt par. 69, my favorite number, not for any naughty reasons, but for the fact that is my best round of 18 holes. I remember hugging my cousin, like he shot like 100. He's a great golfer. He shot 100 that day, and just he was so courteous to me for what I shot. I remember I'm late for the birthday party. Our moms are pissed, and I'm like, you don't understand. I just shot a 69. And my dad's like, bullshit, you shot a 69, It's like, first off, screw you, Dad. Okay? That's a screw you, Dad moment. But the fact that, I know I played every shot down. If it was a crappy lie, I played it from the crappy lie. I putted everything out to completion, knowing that for once in my life, I shot an amazing round of golf. I got to share it with my cousin, who was like a brother to me for so many years. Still is like a brother to me, even though we live 1,200 miles apart. That was a magical day, a magical moment, one I'll never have again. But I mean, I could almost remember every shot out there. I mean, it's just, when it's over, it's a beautiful thing. And I know Graham's, he's been close before to that number for 9 holes.
What, 100?
But
Oh yeah.
that is one of my favorite things, and the fact that I got to share it with somebody who can legitimize
Oh yeah.
the event, you know.
You have a witness. Oh yeah. Because I've shot under 70 before too, but by myself.
And that's when you put the controller down.
No, I can even do it.
No, you did do it there, and I remember your wife was disappointed in us. I was visiting. You had Tiger Woods something for the Xbox 360, and the first round of golf, you absolutely beat me. I was like 1 over par, you were 2 under. And I'm like, we're gonna go again, and you're like, all right, but it's a drinking game. I forget what you had to drink, but we polished off a whole bottle. And your wife woke up from a nap and like, Brett, hey, you need to take us. We're going to go bowling. We're going to go bowling. And she's like, oh my God, are you guys drunk? No. But we're going bowling. And I remember we're bowling. And you are just, when you're drunk, you are a little jabberjaw. You're just talking. And I'm like, okay, Graham. Yep. Sure thing, buddy. You don't like me when I'm drunk, do you? You're fine. Pat on the back.
Yeah. I used to get a little sad when I would get drunk too. So,
but damn it, she took us bowling, and shout out to you.
Yeah, she's put up with a lot of my shit. So.
She's one of the she's one of the best. She's one of the best.
So,
oh goodness,
Taylor.
All right, so the last one I have, it's a slight bit of build up for it, I guess. So I was, over in Japan working and teaching the English there, and for place that I did teach, a bunch of different schools, elementary and middle school, and one of the middle schools has, or at least had, I don't know, I don't think it's quite the case now, but 3 elementary schools that fed into that middle school. And so I was there for 5 years. So I had these kids 5 years. And the last day I was at that middle school, Irogo Misaki Chugako, it is downpour rain, just torrential downpour rain, just pouring. And the whole time the kids are really sad, and they're giving me hugs and saying, "Oh, we're gonna miss you." I don't know if you know GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. Have you ever
I've heard of?
Yeah, so
yes. I'm aware of. Yeah.
Basically about an idiot who becomes a teacher, and he teaches very very unorthodox way of teaching, but like not just teaching class stuff but life stuff and everything. But they were calling me GTT, Great Teacher Taylor. And it was very, very warm, and it's a very pleasant, despite the weather, but very pleasant, and just it was nice to see that that they enjoyed all that, and just how well they had done and everything. And then the cherry on top of it is that all the kids have left, and I get in there with all the teachers. We're all in the office, and we're talking. And then I get up and I say a few words and thank them and everything like that. And one of the teachers, he's one of the PE teachers. He, I would join the kids at PE and stuff, and if not, sometimes I'd just kind of step out, chit chat with him, and he was not very good with English, but he looked at me and he was like, "Taylor, even nature is sad to see you go," and I was like, wow. Like I kept it in, but I admit, like, I got to that car and I actually cried. I was like, that really hit me. like it was just a really, like, oh man. But that whole day, and it's not to say that the other schools that I had didn't have their own little nicety too, but it was just a really, like, I was dreading that going in that day, because I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna be. I'm gonna like, to me, they're like, I always treated them kind of like they were, to a degree, almost like little siblings to me, or very, very distant sort of kids. But you take care of them, you care for them, you want the best for them. You you love them. I know that sounds weird to say it that way, but it's like I
Nope.
want you to succeed as best as you can. Not just with the English stuff we're doing, but whenever there's any sort of interaction or whatever class you're doing or what have you, I want the best for you. And I I am happy that they were able to see where I was coming from that, and not like oh, it's just the random goofball foreigner who's here to just kind of do something every now and
Yeah.
again. So
There's nothing more manly than a man who can cry. Just saying. I cry all the time for the dumbest stuff.
yeah, no, yeah, very sentimental. Oh, I lost it then. Yeah, it wasn't anything manly. It was just kind of like, yeah, it was a weird. I don't know. It's just
I,
kind of weird when I think about it, and just kind of like I
I
always
don't
had
think it's
this.
weird at all, man. Yeah, like you're planting seeds there, man, and you're watching them become their own thing, and that's look at that damn beast. Look at that.
I mean, he's been on
She
camera
wants
this
to
whole
go
time.
out.
Like, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
I get it. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, there's a man that can show his emotions. That's a good dude right
Mm.
there. No need to
It's
hide
not
shit.
it's not my strong suit. I've gotten
You
better about it since the transplant, but it's not my strong suit. Never has been. So, but
can't
I
imagine.
agree with you. I agree with you. So, um, my last one, kind of a cheat, but not really, because I considered honeymoon the same as getting married, which my honeymoon was an incredible trip. But a couple years ago, my wife and I went to New York for a long weekend. We went for a concert, and just it had been, I think, one of the first vacations we had, just the two of us, since essentially, before the kids were born. And I think maybe since our honeymoon, because we had always gone on vacation with other friends or whatever. So we went to New York for I think we flew in Friday and were there Saturday and flew back on Sunday, or one of the two. I can't remember. But we were there only there for like 2 nights. But it was just such a fun trip. The concert was a great time. We walked around New York, down in
Who
Manhattan.
was the composer? I can't remember her name. It's a
Uh,
she,
yeah, the singer was Aurora out of
Aurora.
Norway. Yes, it was a very good concert. If you've never heard of her, check her out. She does the sing song voice in Frozen 2, I believe, but she does good stuff. I haven't listened to her a whole lot lately, but just that whole experience, it was nice to reconnect with my wife again after that long. And when you've been married a while, and you have, especially once you have kids, it's kind of like, are we gonna be able to reconnect once the kids are gone, or are we gonna kind of forget who we are with each other? And it was nice to go on that trip and kind of like almost fall right back into dating. It was a great trip. We had a ton of fun. I wish it was a little longer, so we could have done a little more, but also at the same time, because it was so short, it was like just short and sweet. Um, but that was a great moment. It was really nice to have that time with her, just the two of us. Doesn't happen very often. So,
Mhm.
Mm.
but no, I'd have to
Yep.
say those are mine.
I remember listening to God, dude. I was at your house. We were into the deep hours of the evening, and you were like opening up through your music and your interest at the time, and I just, there was no alcohol involved at all. And I just, that was for me again. I don't get to see you very much in person. That was a good day for me. I remember going home, going to my parents' house. Mom was like, "You're home late," and I was like, yeah, it was a great night. I learned more about you, your music tastes, which I found very interesting.
I
Not that
have
I
very
ever
eclectic
listened.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
do.
have
And
very
I'm
eclectic taste in
I'm
music.
not a very musical person. Like I don't really follow any musicians, but I mean, just for me, I mean, you know, I have 3 kids. Um, I'm not in Ohio very much. I have some good friends down here, but I mean, I'm so busy with life and work. By the time I get to
Yeah.
friends, it's short. So moments like that, I really take in and remember. And I remember that night. It was a good night. You have good
Well,
taste. Yeah, you're weird. You're a weird son of a bitch, but you have good taste.
thank you. Well, and if you remember, that was, I think, before
It was before the trip. That was before the trip.
It was
The
before
New
the
York
trip.
trip.
And I think there was talk of me possibly getting listed at that time.
Yes, that was
So,
pre-listing. Yes.
that was part of my original attraction to her, was I found her music very comforting, and it was during a period of a lot of turmoil in my life of, am I getting listed? Am I not? You know, my health is bad enough to get listed, but that's a huge step. Something I would thought was going to happen many years down the road, so it was a shock to find out how soon it was coming. So I listened to a lot of like very kind of calming, relaxing, or stuff that made me kind of comforted. Um, so and she definitely hit the spot for that. So that's her style of music. It's very comforting, and
I
no,
remember the call. I was at Brazosport ISD in the nastiest chiller plant I've ever been in. And you called, said, "Hey dude, I got the call. I'm leaving." I was with my new hire, Mike Johnson. Shout out to you, Mike. You're a great guy, still are. And I remember, like, I get on a flight and I'm going to Tennessee or whatever, and I just remember praying for you right there. I mean, I was like, "Hey dude," like, it was early in the afternoon. I was like, "We got to call it. I'm not going to be able to work the rest of the day." Like,
yeah,
bastard.
when I got the call, I was in Newark, in between work calls, sitting at a Panera eating a bagel, waiting to go on to my next job walkthrough, and getting that call then. And I was like, because with it being in Nashville, I had to be there in like 2 hours.
Yep.
And it's like a 6-hour drive. So we had to charter a flight service and all this. So I remember them calling, and I was like, well, how soon do I need to be down there or whatever? And they're like, look, we're still waiting for the heart. We're not going to do it until tomorrow morning. So if you can get here before 9 o'clock tonight, we'll be okay. And they called me like 9 or 10 in the morning. So that actually worked out well, because I was able to leave Newark, drive home, call my next customer and be like, hey, I just got a call to get my head.
I got something going
on. So, and then what was nice, we actually had like an hour with the kids before we had to leave, so it wasn't like this insane rush. And then we drove down, and I spent the whole drive down working. Brittany pretty much had to tell me what happened, because I didn't remember any of it, but I spent the whole time working on my laptop on the drive down, trying to tie up loose ends before I was going to be off for 6 months or whatever.
Yep.
But for the panic we had of like chartering a flight in 2 hours and all, it worked out. I couldn't have asked it to work out a better way. So
though you didn't take it, shout out to all Angel Heart pilots.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, just doctors. I mean, anybody that does shit like that. Like, you kept this dumb bastard in my life.
And it's incredible what they can do.
I guess I thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what they can do. So, but,
absolutely.
All right. We're pushing an hour 40, so I think it's probably a good place.
And I gotta piss like a racehorse. It's bad.
Yeah, I'm hoping my kids might still be kind of awake, so I can go give them a hug at night for their.
Mine's singing right there. I know she's awake at least. So
yeah, there you go. So, all right then, perfect. It's a good place to stop.
It is.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave some comments below. Let us know what you think. If there's anything you want us to talk about or whatever, you can catch us on pretty much all the major podcast platforms if you'd like to listen on the go instead of watching YouTube. And you can also follow us on X and Instagram at LifeAround40Pod for episode updates and some behind the scenes stuff. So thanks for being here tonight, guys. It was a good conversation. I feel like we got deeper than I expected. So, yep. But all right, guys, you have a nice night, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Thank you. Toodles.